Don't touch the money in your retirement funds until you watch this video. I'm Becca, I'm a money coach, and I'm gonna help you walk through the initial steps that I would walk my clients through if they were in this situation. This is a real life question from a real life woman, so let's get into it. So we have a 61-year-old single female. She wants to retire at the age of 70. She had a 401k that she was contributing to for 30 years that was recently rolled over to a Roth IRA. She has a second mortgage on her home for $98,000, and she has a credit card debt of about $50,000. She is currently paying $1,000 a month to each of these, so $2,000 a month. And her question is, should I withdraw the money from my Roth IRA to pay off one of those debts? And here are some questions that I have for you before you make that decision without knowing any of your numbers. Okay, so first, I want to know what the interest rates on both of those debts are. So if the interest rates are sky high, definitely agree that we need to do something to pay those off faster so you are not spending decades and tens of thousands of dollars on interest on the second mortgage and the credit card debt. And then I want you to figure out how much interest you are actually paying a month for each of those. So you can go to your monthly statement and figure that out. You can also figure out the interest rates from those. If the credit card company doesn't want to tell you what the interest rate is, just like either flip your statement over on the back, or go to the chat bot and ask them, and they usually can give you your interest rate really easily. But here's my concern. I want to know how long it's going to take you to recoup the money, knowing that you can only contribute $8,600 a year into a Roth IRA over the age of 50. So I don't know what you're contributing currently, but $8,600 a year for the next 9 years it's probably not going to add up to the amount of interest that would be compounding for the next 9 years if you kept that money in your Roth IRA. I'm going to show you one of my favorite free tools that I use with my clients. Let me flip you around here. You can just Google NerdWallet Retirement Calculator, and I've already input some information. I'm assuming some of these numbers. So you are currently 61. I'm assuming, just for the sake of this example, you make $60,000 a year before tax. I am just making a random estimate of $300,000 currently in your retirement already. And then $716 monthly contribution. This is the $8,600 broken up by 12 months, divided by 12 months. And then I'm just left the number that's already in here, 70% of your pre-retirement income. So that is assuming that you want 70% monthly withdrawals of this $60,000 that you were getting when you were working. And then your retirement age is 70. I put all of this information in, and you can see that with this information and these contributions, you will have $613,000 saved up in your Roth IRA. Now, let's assume that you want to take $98,000 out to pay off that second mortgage. So we're going to be left with $202,000. All of the other information is going to stay the same. You can see how your total earned you would have $447,000 in that account. So about $200,000 less just by removing some of that, even though you're still contributing $716 a month to that Roth IRA. So this is why it's so important to look at the data and to look at the actual numbers when you're making decisions like this, because these decisions can feel so emotional. Like it feels desperate sometimes. It feels like you have to make a decision today and you have to make the best decision the first time. But if you just look at some free resources online like this NerdWallet Retirement Calculator, you can get some really clear data that will help you determine what you actually want to do and how it's going to impact you down the road. So I can't answer this question like, yes, you should do it, no, you shouldn't do it, but I would definitely weigh out how much you're paying in interest on those two debts currently, and how much you would be saving in interest by pulling money from your Roth IRA. But then you have to weigh that against how much money compound interest you might be losing on the Roth IRA, depending on how long it takes you to recoup that money. I know that's a lot, but if you have any questions about this, drop them in the comments and I'm happy to answer. I hope this helped a little bit.